All right, so we are where we need to be. Let's share the screen. Let's go to Miss Carr.
It's no reason this embarrassing. Honestly, it's no reason that she gotta sit up there while her video is in the bathroom. Like that's embarrassing.
Y'all understand I am raising y'all to a standard.
It don't matter. They don't do that on Zoom.
They do it in real life.
So what? In Zoom, that's not.
And you know what? And here's the thing, Aaliyah. You probably will be sought after. Can you do a presentation? You have to make sure you rise to the occasion. Who's calling me from my office? What the hell? It might be my son. I don't know.
Hello.
All right. So we have our first presentation of the day. Let me make the focus on her over there.
Wait, before she starts.
Oh my goodness.
I just want to clarify this up. Technically, what this posting stuff on like the sharing the screen and stuff, that's extra. All you wanted was a 7-minute video explaining the stuff, like basically the article and stuff, right?
No, the rubric that we have is that you need to post it to the discussions.
Okay.
That's where I'll get it.
Uh-huh.
You need to be here when you're presenting.
Yes.
And that, so it's not extra.
Like, you see how she has her like
article on the screen?
Yes.
Oh yeah. It could have been you like this, like
okay,
in your.
That's what I want to clarify.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See, that's why I keep saying y'all love to raise to the y'all just really want me to lower the bar. I'm sorry, man. I see Black excellence in this room. That's all I see. Black excellence. You ready?
That's all I need.
Don't listen to her. All right, you tell me when to begin. All right, let's go.
Hello, my name is Ashante Carr, and I am doing my research project on alcoholism and its effects on college students. More specifically, why does college students drink alcohol? I know that there are many possible scenarios, but for this article in particular, this article was chosen by me because of the fact that it not only talks about college students and alcoholism, but it talks about more specifically a mental health disorder called PTSD. So basically it links college students' alcoholism to college students having PTSD, or at least the ones who were sampled with the PTSD. And this was going to add to one of my claims that I believe that college students also drink so much alcohol due to mental health. Of course, that's not all of my claims, but that is one of them, and that's why I chose this article. So, the image that is shown on here is my abstract of the article, which I will now be starting to read. So, my article and journal entry is called PTSD Symptoms, Emotion Dysregulation, and Alcohol-Related Consequences Among College Students with Trauma History. I do apologize if I butcher the name. And yeah. So, Tripp, McDevitt, Murphy, Avery, and Bracken, 2015, explores the intricate relationship between post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD for short, symptoms, emotion dysregulation, and alcohol-related consequences among college students with a history of trauma. The study delves into the impact of trauma on the mental health of college students, particularly examining how PTSD symptoms and emotion dysregulation contribute to alcohol-related issues. The participants, who were 240 college students with a trauma history who reported recent alcohol use, completed measures assessing PTSD symptoms, emotion dysregulation, alcohol consumption, alcohol-related consequences, and negative effect. Sex differences were observed, with women reporting higher PTSD scores and lack of emotional awareness, while men reported significantly higher alcohol consumption. The study identified significant associations between PTSD symptoms and emotion dysregulation, as well as between alcohol related consequences and specific emotion dysregulation aspects. The research utilizes a comprehensive approach to understand the interconnected dynamics of trauma, mental health, and substance use among the demographic. The findings shed light on potential intervention strategies and preventive measures for addressing the complex challenges faced by college students with a trauma history. One idea for future research is exploring the effectiveness of the studies as it pertains to therapeutic interventions and alcohol control for PTSD. So, this was my abstract. I believe like the only issue I had was creating the abstract because I'm still learning. But all in all, I believe that I added a lot of good information into the abstract, and it relates to my project due to the simple fact that it's PTSD is a form of mental health, and I did want to basically ask or survey, I should say, I did want to survey the student body asking, do you drink due to stress or decline in mental health? And PTSD is typically, related to that. So this paragraph is my attempt at the design paragraph, and this basically gives further information on the article that I chose, gives further information on the hypothesis and why it relates to my research project. And I will be reading that now. The hypothesis of the article is that college students with a history of trauma and symptoms of post traumatic stress disorder are more likely to exhibit higher rates of alcohol use and experience alcohol related consequences. The sample are the 240 college students who were male and female college students who were examined to study the link of PTSD and alcohol use in this population. A central focus of the investigation was to understand the potential self-medication aspect, with a particular emphasis on how symptoms of post-traumatic stress might account for a substantial variance in alcohol use among these students. The major dependent variables encompassed measures of alcohol use patterns such as binge episodes and the associated negative consequences, including risky sexual behaviors, physical assaults, and fatalities. Notably, a relevant data result highlighted that symptoms of post-traumatic stress explained 55% of the variance in alcohol use among mostly female college students, supporting the hypothesis, which cuts off, supporting the hypothesis that PTSD symptoms significantly contribute to alcohol consumption patterns in this demographic. So, and experience alcohol related consequences.
All right.
So I tried. I'm not gonna lie, the design paragraph for me was really hard. I of course I went through the rubric, but it was super hard.
And you know what? I was ready to sit back and say a whole bunch. Now, this is the issue that I'm gonna say, right? And I could hear this when you were reading it, right? Now, I'm gonna say this, and you might be like, Dr. Burns being mean to me, but it's for everybody, right? My son is actually he's y'all age, so yeah, it's the same thing, right? But literally, I want to make sure that you guys don't get into the habit of reading just to read it, right? When you see words that you don't understand, right, that really should be a challenge for you to sit back and figure them out. There were a couple of words, right, that I think that if I quiz you on it, I'm not going to, but I don't think you know what they meant, right? Now, here's the issue. You would never want to be in a situation, right? Especially because not everyone's going to like you and support you. Like, I'm a faculty member. I want you to do well. I want to see you doing better. There are people that would be in a situation like this and test you. I'm not going to call out my colleague, but I went to a conference with a colleague and they didn't know what they were talking about. And it was this really obnoxious Black woman at another institution, right? That was trying to make one of our colleagues look really, really bad, right? So I want y'all to realize you have to be ready for the real world, because there's people out there that, and again, they might even look like us, unfortunately, which really throws us. Because we in the room thinking like, oh, there's not too many Black people here. That's my girl. She got my back, right? But you got to realize there's different types of people. There's people who don't want to be associated with Blackness in the room, right? They don't want to be associated with an HBCU. They didn't go to an HBCU, and they want to show you that they're better off because they didn't go. So they were a thorn in this guy's side as of what they were doing. So be mindful of that. I think some of the things I would say right here, what was it saying? Potential self-medication aspect. Now you can either do it or you can ask the class. What do you think a potential self-medication aspect is? What is that referring to?
I feel like, well, personally, how I took it,
Mhm.
I feel like it refers to like the people who are taking like medications such as like a Xanax or any type of any type of medication that is like specifically prescribed for people with mental health, like anxiety or something.
All right, now let me tell you, that's perfect, and it's going to change your whole way of looking at things, right? Self-medication, right, is not that. Self-medication is how we'll have individuals, and I hate to say it, there's a student in one of my classes, think they have schizophrenia or the early signs of schizophrenia, right? When they come into the classroom, they smell like a tree, like marijuana must be growing in their backpack, right? That's the self-medication that what they're talking about. This person is high out of his mind. And I know for a fact that one of the things that stops the voices if you have symptoms of schizophrenia is smoking marijuana, right? Drinking alcohol is another form of self-medication that people engage in, right? So that's what that's referring to. It's not about like, okay, I was prescribed this from a doctor and I'm taking it myself. No, 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 no. And again, it talks about the Black people that don't get mental health, right? We don't go to our doctors because we don't trust our doctors. What are we doing in the real world that's allowing us to be functional in our environment without getting the help that we need? So like I said, if you thought that's what it was, and now you know what this is, it will allow you to look at, I'll tell you, almost every paragraph or chapter or result a little bit differently, right? So again, guys, that's the encouragement I want to see from all you guys. If you don't know, ask. I'm on your side until you don't hand in your work. When you don't hand in your work, then I'm not on your side anymore. It's like, I put a 0 there already, like I don't really care. But we're cool now. Yeah, okay. Next week, not so much. All right, you can sit down, Car. Thank you so much. All right, so our next presenter, according to the list, is nobody. But we have some people who are willing to present. Are you ready? You ready, TT? All right.
What?
Let's.
What? It's 2 people right there though.
Yeah, but they're not for now. Now you're here, right? But what if Kiesha was the next person, right? We don't want to sit back and waste that time.
Okay, so can I just go? Can you just put my name as well, please?
Yeah, we can do that. Or I could just have you go next.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You don't have no to. Yeah.
You an instigator. Stop it. Stop it.
Okay.
All right. So as a result of this, our next 2 presenters are TT and then Aaliyah. All right, so I'm going to go to the discussions, which is where all of us should go. Sharing party 2. TT has her link. All right. All right, you want to come up with us, or I ain't gonna be Shanti ain't the only one to get the hot seat. The only person that got out of the hot seat was Isis, because she went first. All right, let's put it over there. It's not about me, it's about y'all. Y'all are the future.
Hi everyone, my name is Titilayo Adeoye and my topic is the effect of social media on mental health. My article is based on the problematic social media use in adolescents and young adults. Please give me a minute. Let me get my stuff ready. Here, I highlight some of the important things to me. The color doesn't really matter. I just put the colors there so that everything will not be on the same color. My article is based on the problematic social media use in adolescents and young adults. Adolescents and young adults represent a unique population in terms of social media users, as they are the first generations to grow up in a highly digitalized society. The first generations were good with computer and social media, and because they are highly digitalized in the society, they are evidenced to have symptoms with anxiety, symptoms of depression, decreased psychological well-being, lower self-esteem, psychological distress, and loneliness. With the term problematic use, this characteristic individual who experience addiction-like symptoms as a result of their social media use. Despite negative consequences, problematic social media use reflects a non-substance related disorder by which harmful effects occur as a result of preoccupation and compulsion. This is categorized measuring the extent of symptoms and not only by the time they spent on social media. With this, they focus the use of social media generally. They just have to be able to speak English and have to be between the ages 12 to 30 years. The hypothesis of the article was the problematic social media use that impact all the mental health outcomes that is measured. They found the strongest correlation that is observed was with anxiety and young ages. A systematic literature search was conducted in April 2021 using the database Engineering Village, PsychoInfo, PubMed, and Web of Science. Using the term social media, social networking, mental health, depression, depressive symptoms, anxiety, stress, these such terms were used to qualify social media use in terms of problematic use. The research were assessed for quality to score the risk of bias for the study. The record identified in database search is 2846 2846 record. This record identified database searches, which is
All right, guys, I want to make sure that you understand this, TT, and that you guys that are listening understand this as well, right? She's doing a study. It's actually probably referred to as a meta-analysis, right? Now, her study is different. Usually studies, we want to collect data from all of you. What she just described right now, because she was going through the research, she went to EBSCOhost like you guys did. She typed in social media, stress, anxiety, and press enter. And every damn article that popped up in EBSCOhost, that's her data. So what they did is they looked at these articles and they're characterizing all the research that has already been done about social media. So this is a study on studies, not a study on participants. I just want to make sure that you guys understand that, and I'm sure she knows that.
2,846. And after they finished the recording, they did remove some of the duplicate. And after the duplication have been removed, the total is 2,410. And with this, the record excluded based on title and abstract. So after removing the record based on title and abstract, they have a 1,993 in numbers. And they record screen full text. The record screen full text, they come up with a 417. And records excluded, no measure of problematic use of social media, they have a total of 136. No measure of depressive symptoms, anxiety symptoms, or stress, they have 127. Outside age range, they have 108. Review article, they have 12. Study in the clinical population only, they have 5. Longitudinal study, they have 4. Use of dichotomized continuous variables, they have 4. And study on a specific platform only, they have 3. And after the whole thing, they include studies in meta-analysis, which the total is 18. So details on the final 18 studies and 9269 total participants include as summarized.
So just to be clear, TT, when you're talking about your participants or the qualities, the two characteristics of your population, you'll be talking about what type of articles were included. Because it's not really about people for you.
In problematic social media use and anxiety symptoms, 9 studies were identified in association with problematic social media use in adolescents and young adults. Problematic social media use and stress, 6 studies were identified in an association with problematic social media use in adolescents and young adults. The strongest correlation was observed with anxiety. A limitation was that the participants were not tested prior to the research whether they have mental health, which this affects the reliability of the study. Future studies exploring the relationship between problematic social media and mental health outcomes would also benefit from including more details, information on how participants are using various platforms. Although there is a large amount of evidence pointing towards the negative impact of social media in mental health, there is still a need for further research in pointing conclusive results on the causal relationship and how social media can be used without taking a toll on the mental health of users.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Oh.
to summarize all my stuff,
And you know what? I'm just going to stop there.
Oh.
You did a phenomenal job so far. Honestly, I'm a little upset because as much as y'all be making me feel like I'm making y'all do so much, everybody who's went so far has done above and beyond. Like sharing screen and all that is not needed, but it helps. It actually does help. I can tell you're very comfortable with this. I already went through and did all of these. Car. Now, TT, I'm taking a little bit of your time up, but you exactly right. The one thing I didn't hear you say in your presentation, I thought I should ask you, your presentation is for everybody. You need to let me know whether you have access to your article.
Oh, yes.
Right? Okay. Right. Because again, you showed me the summary. TT, she didn't really say it either, but she's showing the article on screen, right? So I can infer it. You had a summary, but we can get that from some fancy ways. So yeah. Just explicitly let us know whether you have the article, right? So with that being said, we've had perfect scores thus far. Any questions, TT, that you have to help us help you or help me help you, get ready.
I don't really have a question, but I was just so amazed, like, they didn't test them to see whether they have any anxiety, depression. They just start the whole thing. So I'm so like curious, like, okay, oh, that's so surprising. Like, how did they do that?
And you know what? That's why I always tell people you will not solve research in the world, right? With one study. And with you having read this, you might be like, oh my gosh, they didn't do this. That might be the focus of your study. And again, your study that you guys have still has not been formulated yet. So you could either replicate what they've done or fill a void. Identifying a void, that's the best way to get a name for yourself and to be a part of it. And that's why reading research is important, because we actually do learn how to further the knowledge when you look at those limitations. All right. Yeah, we muted the rest of yours, but thank you very much. You can have a seat. Another excellent presentation. All right. And we have yet another excellent presentation coming up.
Well, I just want to say, I know.
No. Hey, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
On sharing the camera, and don't expect none of that in this presentation, though. I'm just saying.
No, we're not doing any of those. You know, I don't like the hose. We don't do those. Yep. And it's not a requirement.
Exactly.
Hello, class.
Lucky I know how those people do.
It's Aaliyah here.
Good morning.
It
just wake up.
Oh, in the video you just woke up? All right.
Hello, class. It's Aaliyah here. I'm here to talk about
I can tell.
one of my articles. My topic for this paper is coping with the death and the loss of a parent at a young age. So the studies the article's name is called Post-Traumatic Growth Experiences of Adolescents with Parental Loss, a Phenomenological Study. So when I read this study, I took away 8 different points from the whole entire study, which I do have it downloaded to my computer and the full entire PDF version you can't see on my laptop, but it's right here. So the next question is abstract or article summary. So I'm guessing that means like you want me to talk about the study. So basically, the study uses a phenomenological approach, which basically focuses on understanding and describing the lived experience of these individuals. So this approach is complex and deeply personalized for the personal experience of adolescents coping with parental loss. This is a good approach because it digs deeper into the person rather than just having one like conversation or one like just an overall general, my mom died and it made me sad. So the selection is 8 adolescents who had experienced death of a parent and were choosing to participate in the study. This deliberate section allows for an in-depth examination of unique journeys through grief and resilience. So they had 8 people in this study, 8 boys and girls. So the data collection of this study, the researchers utilized a 3-step semi-structured interview to gather data from the participants. The approach likely facilitated an open and honest communication, allowing the adolescents to articulate their thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their own words. So, and rather of just having a one interview process, they did it in 3 different ways to get more, out of the person, for the person to like open up more as well. So the phenomenologic analysis is the data collected underwent analysis using phenomenologic and analyst techniques, which typically involved a rigorous process of identifying, interpreting themes and patterns with the quantitative data. The analysis was conducted in 5 stages, including a systematic and thorough approach to understanding the participants' narrative. So that part right there that I broke down, I'm not really too like confident on that aspect of the article, so I have to do a little bit more research so I can fully understand to better explain to the class. So there were themes and subtitles that was in the article which helped me gather up the information like that to break it down into and what I thought was important. The findings of the study were organized into 3 themes: reactions to loss, readjustment, and post-traumatic growth. So those 3 is actually very good 3 points. So how the person reacted to like, losing their parent, what they did to help, like how did they readjust, and then what did they use to grow. So basically the whole point of the paper that I'm writing is how to deal with the loss of a parent at a young age. So all this whole study comes from younger kids, and the 3 topics was easier to basically say like somebody can really relate to it and then use some of the things that they used to cope. So each theme was further broken down into 9 sub-themes, resulting in a total of 45 codes, which is a lot of codes. So I'm not going to include every single code because every single code doesn't really need to be included inside of my paper. So this comprehensive categorization provides a detailed framework for understanding the multi-surface aspects of adolescence experience. So basically for the reaction to loss, this theme is encompassing a range of emotional responses and coping mechanisms the readjustment. The process of readjustment involves adapting to life with the presence of a parent, which can entail significant changes in family dynamics, routines, and responsibilities. Adolescents may grapple with feelings of loneliness, insecurity, and uncertainty as they navigate through the transition period. So basically, in the readjustment part, um, it it basically the participants go into detail about how they felt like during the time of the loss, how other family members was there for them, other family members wasn't there for them, like who came up in the shed of the light. So the last part would be the post-traumatic growth. So despite the profound challenges posed by parental loss, some adolescents may experience personal and developmental growth as results of their experience. This could manifest them in various ways, such as increased resilience, self-awareness, empathy, and renewed appreciation for life. So some people, they talk about how at the end how the person grew, or how they felt as if they grew from the death of their parent. So I still have a lot to like. I understand the article and what's going on, so which is a good point. So it's not that hard of an article to read and break down some of the data that's here. Like I don't really understand, so I will have to go back more into it. But I overall, this is a good article that includes a lot of details inside of the article that I can take away for my paper.
What is that?
Thank you.
See that, ladies and gentlemen, y'all can learn something from everyone's presentation, even Aaliyah.
What is that?
All right, again, very impressed. Good job. I think that I laugh at you guys.
Hello, class. It's Aaliyah
Uh,
here.
No, I laugh at you guys because I hear y'all sit up here being like, I don't really understand. And she did a hell of a job explaining the article. Y'all just need confidence. And y'all are psych majors. Like, I don't. And let me tell you, the only thing I'll say is this. I was just saying this to my girl the other day. I got my doctorate, and I think I had like imposter syndrome or whatever, thinking that like there was going to be something that was going to be so challenging that I was going to fail miserably. It never happened, and I got my doctorate. Right? Now, here's the issue. I might have, at least I felt like I was more confident than I see in your faces right now. But I really think many of you guys are smarter than me. The only thing that would stop you from getting your master's or your PhD is some belief that you're not able to do it. Right? So that's why I'm kind of hard on y'all for that. Like, y'all are doing the damn thing. I don't even know if I could have done this as a junior in undergrad. So pat yourselves on the back. One, for paying attention, and for being able to complete it. But yeah, this is learning, if you ask me. All right, let me see. What else we trying to do? All right, who is next? Samir.
Oh.
All right, but don't worry, no, we can't prejudge, because Samir might have posted her video in here, and we could have watched it. And but yeah. I guess we have an issue of niceness. Do y'all want to wait for 10 minutes to see in case she shows up?
No. Oh, sure. No, yeah.
Hold on, let me turn the camera on you and say that again. All right, I'm going to stop sharing.